Okay. Hello, everybody. Oh, I gotta get my mic on. Yes. The end of another week. I got so many screens and mics and tech because I'm in quarantine. There's nothing else to do but keep buying equipment and learning how to use it. Let's see. Now, I'm kind of curious. We have somebody named Mojo. Hello, Mojo. Put you over there. Where are you, Mojo? Because it says it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. Where would that be? Where it would be 1 o'clock in the morning. Not sure. Let's see if that pops up here. We got a woo girl. We got a woo girl in the house. Woohoo! I have some exciting stuff for you this week. First of all, let's make sure the mic's working, the levels are good. Everything good? If everything's good, just give me a thumbs up or sounds good or something like that. Oh, we got somebody here from the UK. Just give me some feedback on the mic because last week we just had a lot going on. And, I'm not totally convinced I want to use these headsets here. I have 3 different screens going and all the sound is different. Everything's delayed. It's really weird, including what I'm hearing through my headset, which I think I'm going to put that down here. Yes. Hello, my friend. We got, let's see, evening. Yeah, I guess it is. I'm in the east coast of America. I'm in Florida. And if I stay here any longer, I'm going to have to be considered a Florida man. Hey, it's Dale. Thank you for the sounding great. All right. We got Glasgow, Scotland. Mojo, yeah, you were here last week. Thanks for coming back. All right. We're doing something different this week. This is for those of you just tuning in, hi, welcome. I suppose I should introduce myself. As you see on the screen below you, my name is Joshua Seth, and I've worn a lot of hats in my life, but most of you know me as a voice actor. I'm the voice of about 100 animated TV shows and movies, including Ty on Digimon, and Tetsuo, and Akira, and Hige, and Woofs Rain, and one of the original voices of Alpha 5 in Power Rangers, Ay! And on and on and on, and hundreds of national commercials and thousands of promos as the voice of Fox Kids and Kids WB. And then I left and I went on tour and I went on stages and I did live shows all around the world and I started doing keynote speeches and I started training corporate audiences in communication skills. And that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today because we are in a weird time and I'm sensing some people are depressed, scared, panicked. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I think I have something that I'm working on here might help. And for those of you that are invested in sort of sharpening the saw and doing something to improve yourself in the time that we have been given, I have something for you too. But let's check in with everybody really quick here before we get on to that. Hello! I suppose I should say hi, Jennifer M. in the voice of Ty. We got New Zealand. Oh, Renee, you're in New Zealand. I love New Zealand. I have been to New Zealand twice. I went to Auckland for a Comic-Con. I think it was the Armageddon Pulp Culture Convention. It was either that or Supernova. I can't remember which one was in Australia and which one was in Comic-Con. But anyway, I went twice, spent a week each time. The first time that I went, I was in a reality TV show in New Zealand, and I stayed an extra week. So come to think of it, I was there 2 weeks. And I wish I knew what the name of that was because I've never seen it. It only came out in New Zealand. And there were 3 voiceover actors and 3 Kiwi kids, and it was the voice actors versus the Kiwi kids, and they took us with a crew and a limo all around New Zealand for a week, the North Island, and we did all kinds of challenges, like we had a sheep shearing competition, and I went to the Waitomo Caves. It was amazing country, and went to Wellington. We saw penguins. I saw where the Lord of the Rings was made. I got a private tour of Peter Jackson's studio. Actually, I think that was on the second trip there. That wasn't for the TV show. But anywho, I love New Zealand, so that was nice to see that. Who else do we have here? Mike sounds good. Thank you, Mega Deadpool, for the shout out on the mic. That's always reassuring. Chile, Toronto, Canada. Love our friends our neighbors to the north up there in Canada. Thanks for checking in. Let's see. So, yeah, it's a little colder up there than in Florida, I'm sure. It's too hot down here, really, to go on much of a walk, even. I moved here from, actually, I moved here from Santa Barbara. I moved to Santa Barbara from Los Angeles just to kind of take a step away from the intensity of Hollywood, and then I just kept going until I landed on the opposite coast in Florida. But I moved in the early part of the year, and I did not realize how humid it is. I'm taking this off. This is driving me nuts. All right, the delay. I'll get that sorted out by week 4. So it's so humid here that, like, you can't do anything. Like, I have a bike. My kids have a hoverboard. Actually, the kids don't seem to mind too much, but, you know, I do. So I'm just, like, inside half the year in the air conditioning. All right, let's see. It is... The first, you met me at that Comic-Con I was just talking about. All right, wow, that's cool. It's wonderful to get a community going, and I know a lot of you guys follow me on social media. In fact, I guess we should switch over to that. That was the next slide here is follow, like and subscribe. Didn't mention that much in the first 2, but if you would, just subscribe to this YouTube channel right now while you are thinking about it, and you will get notified then when I have more live streams coming up. And follow me on Facebook and on Twitter and even the Instagram. But especially Facebook, because I have something special I'm going to offer you guys. If you stay till the end, I want to characterize it correctly. I'm not selling you anything today. Don't worry about that. But it's like, it sounds like a pitch. If you stay till the end, I have a very special offer. I do have a special, but it's not costing anything. It's just to be in sort of like a beta test group for something that I'm putting together. But I'm going to talk about what it is and see if it's something that you would want to be involved in before I make that invitation. But, you know, check that out. Oh, and then this is this picture here is my avatar on something called Cameo. Do you guys know what Cameo is? Like, say something in the comments. Actually, let me know if you've had a Cameo. I've had so many people ordering Cameos since I joined 1 week ago. I can't believe I waited so long to join Cameo. Somebody had told me about it months ago, and I just blew it off. But you know what? Now that I'm in quarantine, I had time. I looked into things. I talked to the people over there. They set me up. I've been doing a couple of Cameos a day. Actually, I have 2 more to do today, still in the queue. And I kind of think I've been going overboard in terms of, you know, what people generally give. Here, for you, those that don't know, Cameo, and the link is down below in the description too. Cameo is video shoutouts from celebrities, and for some reason, the people at Cameo think I'm a celebrity, so they let me have an account, and we have a pretty cheap introductory rate, $20. You can do a shout out for somebody special, having a birthday, an anniversary, you know, breaking up with a girlfriend. Actually, that would be a great one. If you want to break up with the person that you're with right now, quarantine can be hard, people. People are stressed out, depressed, bad relationship. Let me help you out. Let me help you get out of that. Send me $20 on Cameo, and I will get you out of your relationship. How does that sound? Like and comment if you like that. Yes. Woo-hoo. All right. What we got going here? Let me look back to the comments. Back to the Cleveland. What? We have a Chris here. I got to change the background look on this so that you guys, give me a second. I'm doing this in real time. Got background. No background. Background. We got to make background a color of some sort. And I am going to make the background, let's make it yellow. Maybe that'll show up better. Let's see. So Chris, yeah, that's better. All right. Work at the technology with no crew. Woot woot. The brain. I am working the brain and using the brain. So yeah, Chris is from Cleveland. I grew up near Cleveland, Chris. I'm going to talk about it a little later in tonight's live stream. I grew up in Kent, Ohio. It's a very small town, about an hour outside of Cleveland. So thanks for checking in. I heard it was snowing today in Ohio. I still have family there, and they said it was snowing because why not? The lake effect, we call it. The lake effect. Let's see. Oh, there's Chris saying Cleveland isn't that bad, except we have seasons, all the seasons in one day. Yes, all the seasons except summer. I've lived there. I remember. I know. Let's see. Mojo knows Cameo, but hasn't had one yet. Well, get on it, mate. Get on it. All right. And everybody loves Gav. He uses it. Yes, Connor, I am on Cameo. I'm having a blast on there. We're going to move off this Cameo thing in a second. Oh, thank you, Mojo. I don't feel like a celebrity because I'm, a single dad here, and I'm homeschooling my kids, and I'm in lockdown just like everybody else, and I'm having to figure out how to do third grade math again. So believe me, if there's anything to humble someone, it is this experience. I'm not complaining. There are people worse off than me. Many hats off to the first responders, the healthcare, the people that are still going out there and working and exposing themselves and everything. I want to be clear. However, I still get to complain if I want to. And the kids are wonderful, but in moderation. It's nice to have a little break. From time to time, would I be willing to break up with my ex? Would I be willing to break up with your ex? Well, I would be breaking up with your ex on your behalf. Just to be clear, for $20 on Cameo, I'm not going to start a relationship with your girlfriend or then break up. That's not what I meant. I meant I will break up for you on your behalf. Okay? I'm offering that service to people for whom the quarantine is just too much. There's either going to be a lot of divorces after this whole thing is done because people are used to having a break and not being with each other all the time. And it's a pressure cooker. Some people don't have good coping skills. I know certain people have no coping skills. And it's just and they just want to explode and get away. They just want to run away. So that would be one. Then also, in addition to a lot of divorces after the quarantine, I think there will be a lot of children born on the other side. But all those children will be firstborn children, if you know what I mean. All right, let's get... What? Joshua says top 5 desert albums. People with the good questions here. Okay, all right. Let me think about that for a second. The Mix-Up by the Beastie Boys. That would be number 1. The Mix-Up by the Beastie Boys. Sade Live. I would do that. Sade. Always good. But it depends if I were with someone, I would have the Sade. What is that? The... Maxwell's Urban Hang Suite. I would do that if I were with someone as well. If I were alone, though, that would just make me wistful. And, maybe some happy music. Something like, maybe, what do I play my kids in the morning? I always play them classical music, like like that kind of music. And I don't know if that qualifies as an album, what is it? Fireworks music for fireworks or something like that. Is it Handel? I think it's Handel's music for fireworks. And I'm going to hold the last one off in reserve and see if we can get back to it later. Okay, my goodness. There are... What? I can't get... My favorite season. Okay, oh man. This wasn't supposed to be a Q&A. I wanted to get into stuff, but you guys with the good questions here. What is your favorite season? Mine is autumn. Autumn's good. Like the change of the... We don't have any of that here in Florida, though. There's no leaves changing. There's nothing like that. The favorite seasons. I'll say when I was growing up, it was probably winter, because when you're a kid, do you want to build a snowman? I got to build a snowman and go skiing. I love to go skiing and all that, but I wouldn't say it's winter anymore, because you get older. And you're just you don't want to be inconvenienced by scraping the ice off of the windshield of the car and slipping on the black ice and such. So not winter, but not summer either, because here in Florida, you just melt. You just go outside and just begin to melt into a puddle. Have a shower inside your shirt, essentially. So I would say, I'll tell you what. You said fall, I'll say spring. Spring. Life, renewal, new beginnings, rebirth. La 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 la. Okay. What am I? There's so you guys are awesome on the questions here, but I'm gonna move on in a second. Let's see. Come to Chicago. Chicago's good theater town, good improv, good magic. Also cold. Done lots of shows up there at McCormick Place. It's a mile from end to end. Shows, speeches, conventions, conferences, stuff like that. Yeah, break. Yeah, sure. Yes, Hans. I would love to break up with her on your behalf. Especially if there's no reason, it'll create good times. Let's create some good times. So, Cameo. It's a special service I am offering. What is my favorite? Who is my favorite author? I'm going to sound shallow. But I can't help it. You probably see it, but if I move the mic, if I move this mic over, you would see it. You can see what that is. Harry Potter. That's right, J.K. Rowling. Move this around a little bit. Yeah, J.K. Rowling, I would say. Because when those books came out, I don't know if I'd really hit it as a voice actor yet, and I was still making my living as a magician, which I went back to again later on because it's a passion of mine. I love it. And I love live performing on a stage and the audience reactions and things. And there was a time where magic was not that popular, and I feel like J.K. Rowling has really reinvented people's interest in it. And, since then, it's really taken off. And it almost seems weird to say now that there was a time prior to Harry Potter where it just was considered Doug Henning cheesiness. So I like her for that, but also because I use it to read stories to my kids. I read them all out loud, doing all the voices and things. And I even did that. I read them out loud when the books came out, as they came out. And that's the only book series that I've done that more than once with. It's wonderful for kids learning to read. The movies are great. It sparked renewed interest in magic. And when I went to, where did I go last year? Beginning of last year, I went to a Comic-Con to introduce the Akira movie and talk about my experiences making and starring in Akira. And the whole conference was built around that. And it's the Edinburgh Fringe Festival is what I was thinking of. It's Edinburgh. And I got to see where J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter. And I got to see the castle on the hill that was her inspiration for Hogwarts. And I went up there, and it was amazing. I loved that. I just had a great time over there. So, Mojo, thank you for the who is your favorite author question. I'm going to make these a little bit bigger. Look at me learning to use this software. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Let's see. Okay. Boom. That's better. People will be able to see. The funniest thing that's ever gone wrong at one of my live shows. I almost hate to admit this. You guys, I have to say, I think you've been thinking of the questions all week or something. These are better questions than the last couple weeks. All right. Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's funny to that person, but the first... sit back, kids. Let me tell you a story. The first time I ever did an international show was in Tahiti. It's at the beginning of my touring career. Obviously, it was my first international show. And the French Lottery Commission asked me to go over there and do a big show on an outdoor stage and hypnotize people. I was also doing a comedy hypnosis show at the time. But there's one catch. It was in French. And Meno Nespa, the French. I don't know French, obviously. So I said, all right, tell you what. I got to fly in a week ahead of time, and you got to give me some backup dancers, and like showgirls, and a translator. And that way, the showgirls, the dancers, will take up time on stage while I communicate what needs to be said to the translator, and the translator communicates that to the person who needs to follow my directions. N'est-ce pas? Capiche? Okay? So we choreographed this, and we worked it all out, and I came up with a strategy for working with a translator and still hypnotizing somebody. What I did not count on was that in the middle of the show, it started to rain. And I don't know if you've ever been to French Polynesia, but when it rains there, it's heavy rain. It's big, heavy, thick drops slowly coming down from the sky and splashing on your forehead like that. It's not like the sort of thing that woke anybody up. It's the sort of rain that put them, it was a warm, sort of a comforting rain. And as a hypnotist, I knew to incorporate organically what was going on. So I said, every drop of rain that you feel fall upon your body, you will fall deeper to sleep. And it worked great. And I had an awesome show. And at the end, I forgot to remove that suggestion. And it didn't matter because everybody woke up when I wanted them to wake up, except for this one really big French Polynesian guy with tattoos all down the side of his face. And he was just out, catatonic, just out. And the show was over. It was very awkward. The music ended. The people went from the stage back to the audience. Everybody's ready to leave, but nobody's leaving because they're all staring at this big guy who is sitting there like seemingly in a coma on stage. And people don't understand about hypnosis. They think it's mind control. It's not mind control. I'm guiding a process. They think that like I've taken over your brain or something, and you can. It's not like, I can get into this on a different live stream if you want, but basically I'm guiding a process of perception, and I forgot to remove the suggestion that would have altered his perception. So it was still raining, and even though I was saying to wake up, he would start to wake up and another drop would hit him and he'd go down. He'd start to wake up and he'd go back down. So anyway, we have this, just imagine this big guy, show's over, I'm smiling and being a showman. People are starting to like get nervous, maybe a little worried, and I go, wide awake, and he starts to get up, and a drop of rain hits him, and he goes back down. Wide awake, he gets up, and he drop back down. Finally, I remembered, and I whacked him on the ear, and he, like that, and he woke up. So that was the strangest, and I don't know if it's the funniest, but it was the strangest show experience. Shebang! What you drinking? What am I drinking? I'm not much of a drinker, honestly. My last girlfriend taught me to mix cocktails, and I had never done it before that. And I never liked beer, never got a taste for it, never really went out and partied during college, during the time when most people do that. So I never got a taste for beer. And wine kind of gives me a headache. But the last girlfriend that taught me to mix the cocktails, I kind of like those, the martinis, vodka. Only martini, but very rarely. I just don't have an interest in it generally. And dark chocolate is probably my only vice in life. A nice bar of dark chocolate. So yeah, I wish it were something more interesting, Dale, but it is just a glass of room temperature water. Oh, little tip. I got to get to the content, man. All right, this is making me think I got to get to the content. So that, because I'm going to talk about voice training that I promised people on social media I'd get to this. So, little tip, if you want to train your voice and to have a good, resonant, appealing, attractive sound, never drink cold beverages. Keep it room temperature because of what it does to your vocal folds and your vocal cords, most people would say. So it's always room temperature water. All right, let me move through this very, very quickly. You like that? You like that? Yes, kids? You like yes? Okay, good. Okay, I'm going to skip. There are a lot of really, really good, it looks like a dangerous blue liquid. A dangerous, I just told you it's water. Oh, it's the blown glass is why. My stepdad grew up is a art teacher and glass blower, and so I have glass and interesting glass all over the house because I grew up with a glass blower in the house, and I like that. I like that art. Okay, I'm gonna have to move on here. I'm gonna skip forward. I'm gonna give you a little bit of music here while I just read these really quick. Feel free to have a beverage yourselves. Yeah, and let me just see if there's anything that pops out. And magic tricks, DSAC 2. Yeah, I will, but not on this one. I got stuff to get to. I set it all up. Took me hours. PayPal. Yeah, all right, fine. All right, fine. So, Mobile Suit Jesse said, I just found out yesterday that you voiced a character. Here, we'll get rid of that. I just found out yesterday you voiced a character in Gundam. Yeah, Gundam and Digimon. That is true. If you check out my IMDb, I think you'll be surprised that there is a lot of stuff that I did. But we will save that for another time. Okay. All right, what do we have here? Something about Digimon MX 107. The one thing fans love about TV series, always about Digimon, Tai, Sora, the story. What? Yeah, the fan fiction. I know what you're talking about. Well, I've talked about this in interviews before. I never like to know what's going to happen in the story in which I am performing, because I don't want to project. Like, imagine if you knew what was going to happen at the end of a relationship, at the beginning of a relationship. Well, you might make different choices. You might not get in it in the first place. You might do things differently. And I want the story to unfold organically. So I never try to put in my head, oh, maybe Tai and Sora in Digimon, for instance, are going to get together. I don't get ahead of where the script is. I just take it. I want to know, who am I? What do I want in that scene? What's my relationship to anybody else in that scene? What are we going for? What's our objective just in life? And then maybe hear the music for tone. But I don't want in my brain any idea of, some layering of something else that's not put there by the writers, if that makes sense. All right, so, do you speak any different languages? Do Digimon have their own language? I'm very confused about this issue. Well, I speak lots of accents. Is that good enough? Because I'm American. Americans, I learned English. So I know a little bit. Yo estudio español en la escuela muchos años antes. Para mí español está muy mal. Muy mal. El poquito español. My favorite dish. I'm getting my grill skills on, I gotta say, here in the quarantine. I've been getting better and better at grilling salmon lately. I used to love to grill a T-bone steak, but I'm trying to get away from the red meat, eat healthier. It's better for the planet. It's better, more healthy for the individuals. Get away from that. So just mostly fish lately. And I would say what I like the best is a nice piece of salmon on the grill. Okay, come on, guys. I'm trying to catch up. All right. Dark chocolate is indeed prodigious. Nice use of the word prodigious. That's a Digimon reference right there. Danny asks if I can talk about my passion for philosophy. No. All right. You guys aren't coming here for that. I would love to, but I just don't think that's what this crowd wants to hear. But yeah, I did study it in college and it has influenced my writing. I've written 3 books, but only get if you want to get one of my books, I'll put it later just look it up on Amazon. I'll put it in the comments later. Actually, it would be really helpful for people to read my book right now. If you want, okay, fine. I'll talk about philosophy. Danny, I guess I'm already talking about it. So, yeah, I studied philosophy in college, and there's only 2 reasons for such a pursuit. 1, you want to teach philosophy someday. Well, 3 reasons. 2, you want to become really boring at parties. Or 3, you want to take in what the great thinkers throughout cultures and times have considered about the big questions, which are always, who are we? Why are we here? Where are we going? It's what all philosophy tends to boil down to, and religion too, for that matter. And then deconstruct it, synthesize it, and reinvent it according to one's own sense of morals and ethics, and create your own code, as it were. And so I did that. I wouldn't say I created my own philosophy, but my own way of living. And I put it all in a book called Finding Focus in a Changing World. And I spoke for a couple of years on the corporate circuit as a keynote speaker about that, and a bit in colleges to incoming classes and occasionally graduating classes about that too. How to find your focus, how to focus on what's important to you, how to identify what makes a person successful for yourself, not for society, not for status, not because of how much money you have in the bank or that you're a doctor or something, or unless that's your passion, and in which case you would be successful. It's how to identify what you want for yourself, not what society deems as valuable. So that the value that you place on your own life is internal, not external. Does that make sense? No, namaste. All right, enough of that. Finding Focus is the book. Just look up my name in Amazon. And honestly, if you get it, that could change your life. I wrote it for my kids, like as a guidebook. So like if I croak on an airplane or something, which role do I have more of an attachment? Hige from Woofs Rain or Tetsuo from Akira? I'm not going to get to the stuff I wanted to get to, man. I'm not going to get half of it. All right. Hige from Woofs Rain. For those that don't know, Woofs Rain is a very beautiful anime. I know I got a true fan when I'm at a Comic-Con and they bring up a t-shirt or a DVD or a poster from Woofs Rain. In fact, I've done a couple of cameos for people from Woofs Rain already this week. And it's almost Shakespearean in the story arc as a classical drama. It's worth checking out if you're a fan of anime. It's very long, though, and I was directed by the wonderful Mary Elizabeth McGlynn in that studio. It was one of the last projects I did before I went on the road. So I have some connection to that. But I would say, what was the question about Akira? Have more an attachment? I would say definitely I have more of an attachment to the role I played in Akira, Tetsuo, for a couple of reasons. One, I think it's the best anime movie ever made, bar none. The best movie, and I started it. But also because it's the reason I wanted to become a voice actor in the first place. But wait, Joshua, how can that be? And how can it be that you were in it and it inspired you to want to be a voice actor? Well, kids, because it existed before I did it. There was, a sub before a dub, and there was a streamline dub before the pioneer dub that I did when I was in film school, film, TV, and radio in New York City, which I will talk about in the content if I ever get to it. I watched Akira in an art house theater in Greenwich Village in New York City, and I walked out and I was mind blown because anime wasn't a thing in America yet, and I'd never seen animation for adults. There wasn't Pixar, there wasn't South Park, there wasn't even Simpsons. That's how old I am, kids. There wasn't even Simpsons, and they've been on forever. So I thought, hey, I could do this. I had a radio show at the time, and I started thinking in terms of putting together a demo. And I'll tell the full story another time. But basically, to answer your question, yeah, I have a deep connection throughout my life, my adult life, to Tetsuo. I'm skipping ahead, comment time. All right, how did I learn to do Tys Voice? Interesting you should ask that, Elizabeth Grace Miller. I didn't learn to do Tys Voice. I am Tys Voice. My voice used to sound like this. It's true. It was the first thing I'd ever auditioned for where I wasn't changing my voice and putting on a voice. And you might say to yourself, but I don't sound like that now. Yeah, it's because I learned to train my voice so I could sound like a freaking adult. But, I kind of sounded like that all the time. And when I went in for that audition and I looked at the sides, the script, and I looked at there was like a picture of him, in like fight mode. It just came out of me like this was an aspect of my own personality. And I didn't try to put anything on or create a funny voice or anything. I just spoke as me. And I do think that's part of why Ty resonated. Because back then, you hardly ever saw animation where people would not put on a silly voice or a characterization and just sound like themselves. I mean, me as Ty on TV 20 years ago, the first time that I can think of where people were watching a cartoon and hearing a person doing their own voice. Like now this is very, very common, but back then it was what we call a choice as actors. And I think it worked. So thank you for that question, Drac. All right. No, you didn't miss anything. Did I miss anything? We've been on for 40 minutes, Drac. Oh my goodness. I don't want to do these more than an hour, and there's like stuff that I want to show you guys, and I might have to. All right. This shit. I don't understand what Spotify is. It's like Pandora, right? But I have Pandora, so why would I want Spotify? I have a SoundCloud, but I don't promote it. So, skipping ahead. Okay, RebelWolf, because you follow me on Twitter. I will put this up here. About telepathy and mind tricks. Is there a possibility to learn those powers? Man, I would love to do telepathy and mind tricks. Short answer, yes. Yes, there is. Later. I can't do everything at once. Yes, I could teach you some of that stuff. Drac, are you stalking me? How you know I enter? I haven't even moved on to like my third slide yet. Yes. Yes, I did. I'm going to move these up here. All right. Yeah, I went to college really early. I was a brainy kid. I went to 3 colleges, Kent State, and then Hampshire College in Amherst, Massachusetts, which is like a hippie college. I hope it survives this. It is up in the air right now. It's a college where you sort of like choose your own adventure and create your own curriculum. Ken Burns, the documentary filmmaker, went there, among others. And I studied with Jerome Liebling, the documentary photographer, and it was a great experience. And then I went to NYU, New York University, Tisch School of the Arts, and studied film, TV, and radio. So yeah, I went to a lot of college. A lot of college. Because stuff like this didn't, now you can learn things online. And I've learned so much just in YouTube the last few weeks in lockdown about doing this sort of thing and this course that I'm putting together that I will get to in a minute. Whatever happened to the voice of Matt? Michael Reese. I haven't talked to him in a long time. MX107. MX107. Michael Reese is a good guy, and I believe he was a lawyer or became a lawyer, and as such, left the biz. That's the last thing I heard about him, but take that with a grain of salt because I haven't talked to him in a decade. But see, he was always a really nice guy and very intense. I find keeping hold of things that I want to get done is the hardest to do. Well, I think it's ByLove863. I think that's very common. I think you are not alone in that. And that's maybe a quarter of my focus book is about how to identify what is important, let go of things that you have no control of or that are not, that are just busy work and aren't actually adding to anything. And then productivity, a quarter of the book is about productivity and how to get more done with less time and effort, which I had to learn myself because I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a solopreneur. I'm running a business by myself, and I'm pivoting. And you're watching me pivot in real time from doing live shows and keynote speeches all over the world to what I am going to tell you about in a minute, which is this online training that I'm going to teach whomever wants to. So moving ahead. So get the Finding Focus, my name, Amazon, or I'll put it in the comments down below. Like on this and subscribe to the YouTube, guys, before I forget. Again, I have not seen the new Digimon Adventure reboot yet, DSAC 2, and last I heard it had been delayed. And actually, you otaku out there can verify this, but I did hear just before we went live that Kazuna has been delayed, which doesn't make any sense to me because we already pulled. This is our next movie that's coming out. Let me see if I can turn that on. I had some news to give you about that too, about the Kazuna. Try that. No, that's not Kazuna. That's the wrong one. Well, the next movie is supposed to come out, I think July 20th, and it's not. And it's going to go direct to DVD and Blu-ray because the theaters are shut down. And apparently that has been delayed as well. So, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Jack Aqua. I'm talking about the Digimon movie. But, you guys tend to know more about Sarah. Yes, I know. I am talking about the Digimon. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Nobody tells me anything. I know stuff from you guys. I know from you on the Facebook and the Twitter and stuff. I was always more of a fan of South Park than I was The Simpsons. I just think it's great social commentary. I haven't seen it in a few years, but last I saw it, they really were making a lot of interesting comments about the society in which we live. Mm-hmm. You guessed that one, eh? All right. It has to do with a certain sense of humor, too. But I like the musical numbers in the Digimon. Wait a second. Rochelle, which was the name of a fake movie in Seinfeld. Trivia point. Did you know that, Rochelle? Something new. Rochelle met me at J1 Comic-Con, and wait, where did it go? Where did the comment go? And she ordered an autograph from me and did not get it yet. You did not get it? The last autograph I sent out was like last week. Maybe it was Monday. I'm trying not to go to the post office or anything very much. So there may have been a delay, Rochelle. Obviously, the Cameo video shoutouts I do the same day, but the post office I wait, for safety reasons, and do that once a week. So it might be delayed, but like if a few more days goes by and you don't get it, please just PM me on social media and I'll look into it, I suppose. Skipping. I hate, you guys took the time to make the comments, and I hate to not answer them. But if I keep answering them, I'm not going to get to the real meat of the thing. I don't know what Nick. You portrayed that role so authentically. It's not surprising you voiced Tys so naturally back there. Well, thank you. Couldn't have said it better myself. Yep. Yes. I should, Brammer. I should skip these contents. I've got... Oh, my gosh. All right, one more. Who is my favorite magician? I'm going to give a shout out to my buddy Justin Willman. Justin Willman! Magic for Humans. So, Justin and I have been friends for close to 20 years. And if you have Netflix, check out the first 2 seasons of Magic for Humans. He is my favorite magician and one of my favorite people as well. And his 3rd season is about to drop on the 15th, I believe, of this month. So I'm going to just start moving forward. I'm not going to get to all of this. Oh my gosh, an update on Michael Reese, the original voice of Matt. He was a producer for the Netflix Shadowhunters show. Well, good for him. Yeah, all right. Very nice. Lovely little applause for the Michael Reese. All right, moving off of that. Yeah, pre-ordered Kazuna. Okay, I'm just kind of moving. I'm moving. Let's see. Moving through the comments. Skipping through the comments. Didn't know I voiced Gunder. Well, you learn something new every day, don't you? Today is the first day of the rest of your life. And you learn that I voiced Gunder. You guys have good questions. What would Ty's meaning of life be in his own words? I think to be a good big brother and a good friend, and to always find the courageous thing to do. How's that? All right. Oh, it's the Joshua! Hey! Yay! All right, this guy got a Cameo shout out from me. It was really fun to do because, as I recall, he's saying, I wanted to thank you again for the Cameo the other day. Made Josh's day. Now, viewers, you may notice that his name is Joshua, his friend's name is Joshua, and my name is Joshua. So, mind blown. If you go to my Cameo page, which is in the link, in the descriptions, rather, down below, it's public, I think. And you can see that very funny Cameo. I'm having a blast doing them. Well, thank you, Mojo. Okay, now, an excellent... Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. So, I used to have, when I improv voice techniques, so... That's true, because I want to teach you guys vocal technique. I'm just going to skip forward. Oh, there's my Kazuna slide. Yes, all right. Vintage news. News of Kazuna. Okay, moving past these comments here onto the next slide. So, let me move my notes. All right. News of the movie Digimon Adventure Last Evolution Kazuna's making its way to an Amazon DVD and Blu-ray page near you. Here's the news of the week. 2 more cast members have been announced this week for our new movie, Digimon Last Evolution Kazuna. Jeff Nimoy as the voice of Tentomon, Kabuterimon, and the young Genai is back to voice his characters. July 20th release. Pre-order using the Amazon link in the description. And while we're on this, who should I bring on as a guest? I'm thinking of bringing on some friends as guests. I would love to have my buddy Jeff Nimoy come on because he also has a movie coming out, or it might actually be out now. I'll have to check on that, called Famish. So he made a movie called Famish about, it's a stylized, fictionalized experience at a Comic-Con. And it sounds very interesting, and I would love to bring him on. So we have some yeses to the Jeff Nimoy idea there. Now it looks like it's on top of my head. I'll move that down. Yes, I think I will. I'm going to reach out to Jeff. Yeah, and I'll start to do some interviews for that. Oh, another Cameo. Wishing a happy birthday to your sister again. Noah, thanks for ordering the Cameo. So yeah, I think I'll reach out to Jeff first. Okay, now on to the next thing here. So I am working on a special project here. And let's just talk about that a little bit in the 10 minutes that we have yet. All right. So first of all, I'm a human being. I'm a person. Yeah, I've had some interesting life experiences, but I'm not perfect. Okay. And I have to say, when this pandemic hit and everything started locking down, last week I think I talked about how I was in Los Angeles voicing the Digimon movie when, Blu-ray got bumped to July 2nd. We'll get back to that later. I was voicing that movie when LA got locked down, and I was concerned for a minute there I wouldn't get back home, or how would I get back home? And anyway, I went into the first choice that most people make in a crisis, which is paralysis. And I wanted to address this because I see people in social media and interacting with me, and they seem like they're stuck still in paralysis. I would define that as staring at the news and eating ice cream, which is what I did, or eating a whole bag of chips but without realizing it, and suddenly your hand is in the bottom of the bag, and you remember opening it but you didn't actually taste anything. If that resonates with you, if you have had some of that paralysis, just say yeah, or I know what you mean, or thumbs up or something in the comments so I know that this is hitting with you. Anyway, I think that's the first stage that people go through when they're in a crisis. It's sort of like the 5 stages of death. I'm identifying the 3 stages of crisis, which is just you shut down. You just don't want to believe that this is real. But then something breaks through your consciousness and it becomes apparent that this is real and it's not going away, and it's going to affect your life, might affect your, like me, my career, my whole career, my whole industry shut down. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe you're running out of money. Maybe you haven't yet, but you are concerned that there will be cutbacks where you work, or you'll, be asked to do more work for less pay, even if you aren't let go. I mean, these are very real concerns, and this is the panic that people feel that comes after the paralysis. So first they freeze up, and then and panic is fear. It's a manifestation of fear. So first the fear goes inward and you freeze up. Then the fear goes outward and you panic. If that makes sense to you, just like punch something up in the comments there. It'll give me a chance to get a sip of water anyway. What needs to happen is we all need to then pivot and move to the third phase, because you must realize that you do have a choice as to how to respond to external events. We do not have a choice about what is happening. Nobody asked for this. Nobody wanted this. Yet here we are, and the world has changed, and it's not going back to the way it was, and it's not going back anytime soon. And so who survives, according to Darwin? Those that adapt. And pivoting is just another word for adaptation. So the way to get out of panic, the way to get out of fear, the way to shake yourself out of paralysis, even if you're still in that phase, is to take some concrete action, to do something. So if you're searching for something to do, proactive, there's a phrase called sharpen the saw, right? The idea being, if you're going to go out and chop down a tree, the best thing to do would not be to work on your muscles. It would not be to, get up early and start taking more whacks at it. Like, the best thing to do would be to sharpen the saw, the tool that you are going to use to make that work occur. So this is a pivot. So now, what can I show you in terms of pivoting? How can I help you pivot? Well, I've pivoted several times in my own career. I grew up in a small town in Ohio, which I have a picture of it right here. That is the view of my front yard where I grew up. I knew no one in Hollywood. I knew no one in business. I knew no one that had even been anywhere or done anything outside of my little town, really. And I learned a skill set that took me around the world. And I was able to have a career in voiceovers, and I was able to have a career on the stage, and I was able to sell myself to agents and to bookers, and I was able to lead teams backstage in big theater productions. I've done 4 TV specials and been involved in a couple more TV. I was in a Netflix show over in South Korea last year, even, and I was able to collaborate and coordinate and lead those teams as well. And I've been able to make all these, and even now, last couple of years moving into keynote speaking and now into online training. This is a skill set that has taken me around the world and allowed me to do everything that I've done in my life. And it is this. Vocal training. So, people don't think about it, that you can actually train your voice. But I mentioned earlier that, when I was a young adult even, I sounded like a teenager. I sounded like Ty. I sounded like this. And I owned a home at one point, and people would people would call, like telemarketers, and ask to speak to my parents. And hello, can I help you? Yeah, kid, can I speak to the owner of the house? I'm the owner of the house. But I sounded like, come on, imagine dating when you sound like this. Imagine trying to get a job when you sound like, unless if you aren't a voice actor. I took training, and I trained my voice. It's not just for voice actors. People think, oh, I want to be a voice actor. People say I have an interesting sound or whatever. Okay, maybe you do, but it's limited unless it's an instrument. Until you learn to play it fully, it's going to be very limited. Now, when you do learn to play your instrument, we are all wind instruments. We are all using our vocal capacity to communicate, to connect, and to project our personalities to other people. but nobody's ever taught you, most likely, to use your voice, to use your instrument, and to unlock all of your vocal power. But when you do that, yeah, you could have a career as a voice actor. You could, but everybody wants to skip that step. Everybody's always asking me, or all the voice trainings online are all like, how to get an agent, how to make a demo, how to audition. Excuse me, what about training your voice so that you have a skill set that you can then sell? Is this making sense, people? If any of you are interested in learning how to become a voice actor, say VO or something in the comments, okay? You must learn to train your voice before you attempt to go out and sell it. Public speakers, people spend all their lives, developing a specialty or an expertise that they then want to speak about. But you're asking audiences to sit there and listen to you on a microphone on stage for a long time, an hour, a half a day training and whatnot. Well, you may be an expert, but if you don't sound like one, audiences won't want to listen to you. And it blows my mind that there are thousands of people out there attempting to have a career as a public speaker. They know their material. They invest in, all this training about how to put together a speech. They never train their instrument, which is their voice. Sales and leadership. Bad sales is fear and manipulation, right? Good sales, sustainable sales, is relationship selling. It requires having a magnetic personality and getting people to know, like, and trust you, getting your prospects to lean in instead of hitting them over the head with information. Connecting and communicating, it comes down to tone of voice. It's 38% of communication skills. And leaders know this too, because great leaders throughout history have trained their voices to sound like a person that others would want to follow. It's a skill set. And in relationships, what do people hear when you open your mouth? The tone of voice matters because it lands on an emotional level. It doesn't really matter nearly as much what you say as how you train it. Because of this, verbal content is only 7% of what people communicate. Tone of voice, what I'm talking about, is 38%. Body language, everybody is always very interested in body language. Yeah, that's 55%. But your body is connected to your voice. When you change your voice, you change your physiology. When you change your physiology and the way that you use your body to communicate, your voice changes as well. Why? Because they are connected to each other. To me, it's obvious, right? But not to everybody. So, and maybe next week, I'm going to talk a little bit about the journey that I took to get from looking out at cows and cornfields from my front yard to being in Hollywood. And I remember when it really hit me that I had made it as a celebrity voice actor was when I was on the red carpet backstage at Fox movie studios. I'd been brought there by a limo from the studio, and I was being interviewed with flashbulbs going off and microphones stuck in my face, and being interviewed on Entertainment Tonight, and we had a big wide release and everything. And I was like, how did I get here? A kid from a small town in the Midwest that didn't know anybody, how did I get here? This is what I want to show you. It's not just for voice actors. It's for anyone who wants to learn to communicate better, become more influential, have more of a magnetic personality. And I'm creating a vocal training that is going to help you with that. It's going to show you how to unlock your authentic voice so that you can become more influential, how to use your body language and command attention and link it to your voice so that everything is congruent and powerful, how to place your voice so it makes an impact, how to speak so people will hear you and want to listen, how to use different kinds of microphones, what they are, why they matter. If you want to magnify your impact on the world, at some point, you will speak to groups. Whether you're in sales and you want to speak one-to-many instead of one-to-one, or you're in management and you want to get bumped up to leadership, or you want to go into voice acting or public speaking, at some point, you're going to want to magnify your impact on the world. And not only do you need the vocal training to be able to make that transition well, But you need to understand the tools of the trade, which I'll show you as well. And finally, number one fear, even among deaf, people say, is the fear of speaking in front of others. Stage fright, camera shyness, mic discomfort, discomfort even hearing your own voice. A lot of people do not like the sound of their own voice. Do you guys like the sound of your own voice? Do you feel when you hear like a recording of it played back? Put it in the comments. Do you like the sound of your own voice? Do you feel like it could be improved? Let's see. See this guy, James Earl Jones, Darth Vader, Mufasa. This is CNN, James Earl Jones. One of the best voices anywhere. He hardly spoke till he was 8 years old. He had a severe stutter. It was only because of a teacher he had who was a poet that he learned to unlock the power of his voice and became the luminous actor that we all know and love today. Even people like that you think of, oh, well, they're just born like this. Or you might think that about me. Oh, I'm just, have this ability to change my voice. And no. I had years of training, cost me thousands of dollars. I trained with opera teachers. I did musical theater training. I went on the road. I learned something called Alexander technique. I learned from the best directors in Hollywood. So now I'm going to share that with you. And where is the thing that shows what it is? All right. So let's get back to the main. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be building this course out. Okay. The course is going to be called, let me see if I can find it here and drop it over. See if I can do this in real time. Bear with me a second. It's been going so well up until now. Is this of interest to you guys? I hope it is. This has been the secret to my success. And it can be for you too. Whether you want to be a voice actor or not, especially if you want to be a voice actor. Though. So let's see. Here we go. Drop that on. Boom. We call it Train Your Voice, Change Your Life. Bam. Okay? So it's going to be an online course that I create, and it's going to include group coaching, where we will get in Zoom calls, and I'll give you homework, and then we'll get on a Zoom call, and I'll put people in a hot seat, and you will be able to have training with me, like accessible, inexpensive, at least for the first class. It'll go up after that, and see where it takes you. Whether you want to ensure your value in your career by being able to magnify your impact by having a more powerful voice, or you want to be a voice actor and go on the career path that I have trod. I mean, if I can make it as a voice actor, anybody can. I had no special skill initially. I had no connections. I had no money. But I learned something that is sort of a secret that people don't talk about. And I would like to teach it to you. So I'll be building this out in the real time over the next couple of weeks. And it's obviously because I'm doing group coaching as a part of it, I have to keep the group very limited or I wouldn't have time to give to everybody. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a private Facebook group called Train Your Voice, Change Your Life. And right now, if you go down into the description section of this YouTube live video, you should see it right there. Click on that link and ask to be admitted in. The people that are on that group are going to have initial access to this training when I open it up over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to give you some free resources as I create them, and at a certain point, I'll make an offer in there, and you can choose to take it or not. And then after everybody in that group has had an opportunity to decide what they want to do, if they want to move forward with me and do this kind of vocal coaching, then I will open it up to the general public. And I guarantee you, because of the price point that I'm giving and just because I'm pretty well known, it will sell out fast. And I wanted to give this as a special bonus to you guys because you're my fans, and I want to give back to you. And you're helping me right now. You're helping me learn to do YouTube lives and learn the equipment and I want to help you too. So click that link, head on over there to the Facebook private group. Now, this is through my fan page, so I think you have to like my fan page on Facebook in order to get into that group, because it's pinned to the fan page, not my personal page. My personal page is like kids and family and stuff. It's official Joshua Seth, but actually the link is there. The Facebook link in the comments. Let's see if you have any questions about this. Put it right now, because we're going to wrap up in just a minute. Here, Noah just asked to join. Thank you, Noah, for that. I promise you, this training is going to be awesome. There's nothing out there like this that I have found. It can change your life, whether you want to be a voice actor, whether you want to, become a public speaker, whether you want to increase your capacity in sales and leadership in your career, magnify your impact on the world. That's right, Chris. Nothing comes without effort. Yeah, there will be homework. There will be some work involved, but I will be your guide for that. So done. We got somebody done there. I like it. I like it. Dale, boom, done. I like it. I like it. And there's going to be an adventure, and we're going to go on it together, and it will get you to that third phase that I talked about, the choice that you can make. That choice is up to you. The choice that you can make when there is a crisis like there is right now. You don't have to be stuck in paralysis. You don't have to be stuck in panic. It's fine to go through that. I went through it. It's very normal. But at some point, you must make a decision to move forward and do something proactive. And I suggest you train your voice, you change your life, and you let me help you and be your guide. So I look forward to approving your applications right after this in the private Facebook group. And by next week on our YouTube Live, I'll have some updates and tell you how it's going. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and have a great night and a great weekend.